Have you ever wondered why some of life's lessons seem to be understood only too late? Among these precious lessons, those taught by the Stoics stand out for their depth and timeless relevance. Today, let's explore the fundamental lessons of Stoicism that people learn too late. Number 1. The finitude of life. The finitude of life is a lesson many only understand too late. In our youth, we believe we have all the time in the world. We live as if death is a distant concept, something that happens to others, not to us. However, the reality is that life is short, ephemeral, and full of uncertainties. Every day, every moment, we are closer to our inevitable end. The ancient Stoics, wise in understanding human nature, taught us to constantly reflect on our mortality, not as a morbid exercise, but as a means to live more fully. Death is the great equalizer, the universal truth that unites us. Ignoring it is to waste the precious time we have been given. Ask yourself, if today were your last day, would you be satisfied with the life you have lived? With the dreams you pursued, the people you loved, the things you did? Often, the fear of death prevents us from truly living. We become paralyzed, stuck in meaningless routines, postponing until tomorrow what we should do today. But tomorrow is uncertain, and time waits for no one. The Stoics advise us to memento mori, remember death. This constant reminder is not an invitation to despair, but rather a call to action. By acknowledging the finitude of life, we are inspired to value each moment, to live with purpose and intensity. Death teaches us to be brave, to embrace our fears, and to act despite them. It reminds us that there is no time to waste on trivialities, grudges, or regrets. Every day is a gift, an opportunity to do something meaningful. The awareness of our mortality should motivate us to seek virtue, wisdom, and compassion. We should strive to be the best version of ourselves, not out of fear of others' judgment, but because time is precious and we must use it wisely. Life is a journey full of challenges and obstacles, but also of beauty and unforgettable moments. Appreciating the simplicity of a sunny morning, the laughter of a loved one, the feeling of accomplishment after overcoming a challenge. These small things give meaning to our existence. By remembering that one day all this will end, we are prompted not to waste our lives chasing ephemeral and superficial things. The Stoics also teach us to accept death with serenity. It is a natural part of life, something none of us can avoid. Instead of fearing it, we should prepare for it. Live according to our values, cultivate our virtues, and leave a legacy of kindness and wisdom. When our time comes, we should be ready to depart with a clear conscience, knowing we lived fully and honorably. The finitude of life reminds us that we are only a small part of a greater whole. Our worries and anxieties often seem insignificant when viewed from the perspective of eternity. We should strive to see beyond ourselves, to contribute to the greater good, to leave the world a little better than we found it. In the end, the most important lesson the Stoics teach us about the finitude of life is that we should not wait until it is too late to start truly living. Death is certain, but what we do with our time is a choice. Every moment is an opportunity to grow, learn, love, and make a difference. Do not waste your life waiting for a tomorrow that may never come. Live now, with courage, wisdom, and compassion. Number 2. The preciousness of time. Time is the most valuable resource we have. Using it wisely instead of wasting it is a fundamental lesson that many learn too late. The Stoics, with their timeless wisdom, teach us that time is the only thing we truly possess, and once lost, it can never be recovered. We live our lives as if we have an eternity at our disposal, procrastinating, postponing dreams, leaving for tomorrow what we should do today. But reality is relentless. Time does not stop, and every passing second is a second that will never return. It is a currency we spend thoughtlessly, only to realize its value when it is too late. The Stoics advise us to live each day as if it were the last, not in a desperate way, but with a deep appreciation for the preciousness of time. They remind us that life is short and uncertain, and we must make the best possible use of every moment. This means living according to our values, pursuing our goals with determination and valuing the people and experiences that truly matter. Procrastination is a silent enemy that steals our time insidiously. We convince ourselves that there will be a better moment, a more convenient opportunity to act. But the truth is that the only moment we are guaranteed is now. Delaying our actions is a luxury we cannot afford. Each passing day is a missed opportunity for growth, learning, and achievement. The Stoics teach us to be diligent with our time, to treat each day as a precious gift that must be maximized. This does not mean living in a constant state of anxiety or haste, but with a quiet urgency, a deep understanding that time is finite and must be used wisely. Reflecting on the brevity of life leads us to reassess our priorities. How often do we find ourselves stuck in activities that add no value to our existence? We lose hours in futile distractions, while truly meaningful moments go unnoticed. We must constantly ask ourselves if we are spending our time on things that truly matter, if we are living in alignment with our true desires and aspirations. The Stoics encourage us to practice mindfulness, to be present in each moment, not to let life pass us by without noticing. Each instant is an opportunity to live with purpose, to make a difference, to grow as individuals. We should not let past worries or future anxieties rob us of the present. Time also teaches us the importance of being selective with our companions and activities. We should surround ourselves with people who uplift us, who share our values and inspire us to be better. We should seek activities that enrich our lives, that bring us joy and fulfillment. Every choice we make is an investment of our time, and we must make them with care and consideration. The awareness of the preciousness of time also leads us to value the little things more. The beauty of a sunset, the laughter of a loved one, the satisfaction of a job well done. These are the small things that add color and meaning to life. The Stoics teach us to find joy in the simple things, to be grateful for each moment, no matter how small. True wisdom lies in recognizing that time is a gift, and we must use it to enrich our lives and the lives of those around us. We must live with integrity, pursue our dreams with passion, and cultivate relationships that bring us happiness and growth. Life is short, and time waits for no one. Each day is a blank page, an opportunity to write our own story. We must constantly ask ourselves if we are living authentically, if we are making the best use of the time we have been given. There are no guarantees of how many days we have left, but there is certainty that each day is a chance to live fully, to make a difference, to be the person we want to be. Number 3. The importance of discipline. Discipline is a lesson many only learn too late. In a world full of distractions and conveniences, it is easy to forget that true freedom comes from self-discipline. Without it, we are slaves to our desires, impulses, and circumstances. The Stoics, wise in understanding human nature, teach us that discipline is the key to a life of virtue, fulfillment, and inner peace. We live in an era that glorifies immediate pleasure, where instant gratification is sought at all costs. However, this relentless pursuit of pleasure leaves us empty, unsatisfied, and constantly craving more. True satisfaction, on the contrary, is achieved through self-discipline. It is the ability to say no to fleeting temptations and yes to our higher values and goals. The Stoics remind us that discipline is not a restriction, but a liberation. By controlling our desires and impulses, we become masters of ourselves. Self-discipline allows us to live according to our principles, pursue our goals with determination, and resist the distractions that lead us astray. Without discipline, we are like leaves in the wind, at the mercy of circumstances and momentary whims. Discipline requires effort, sacrifice, and perseverance. It is not an easy path, but it is the only path to true freedom and fulfillment. It is the ability to maintain focus, even in the face of difficulties and temptations. It is the courage to do what is right, even when it is easier to do what is convenient. Self-discipline is the foundation upon which we build our lives, careers, relationships, and character. The Stoics teach us that discipline is a daily practice. It is not something that is achieved once and for all, but something that is constantly cultivated. Each day is a new opportunity to strengthen our self-discipline, to resist temptations, and to act in accordance with our values. It is through repetition and habit that discipline takes root in our lives, becoming a second nature. Self-discipline allows us to face adversity with resilience. In difficult moments, it is discipline that keeps us firm, giving us the strength to persevere and overcome obstacles. Without discipline, we are vulnerable to despair and giving up. With it, we are capable of transforming adversities into opportunities for growth and learning. The Stoics also teach us that discipline is essential for true freedom. Often we think that freedom is doing what we want, when we want. However, this definition of freedom leaves us at the mercy of our desires and impulses. True freedom comes from the ability to choose our own paths, to act according to our values, and to control our own destinies. Discipline is the foundation of this freedom. The practice of self-discipline helps us develop a calm and focused mind. In a world full of distractions, the ability to concentrate on what is important is an invaluable skill. Discipline allows us to push away distractions and keep our attention on the tasks and goals that truly matter. It is through this constant practice that we achieve our greatest dreams and aspirations. The importance of discipline is reflected in all areas of our lives. In relationships, it helps us to be faithful, loyal, and committed. In our careers, it allows us to be diligent, productive, and effective. In our health, it helps us maintain healthy habits and take care of our body and mind. In our personal growth, discipline is the key to developing our skills, talents, and virtues. The Stoics encourage us to cultivate self-discipline, not as an external imposition but as an internal choice. It is an expression of our commitment to ourselves, to our values, and to the life we wish to live. It is through discipline that we find true happiness, not the fleeting happiness of immediate pleasures, but the lasting happiness of a well-lived life. The constant practice of discipline leads us to a life of virtue. It is through self-discipline that we cultivate courage, wisdom, justice, and temperance. These virtues, in turn, guide us in all our actions and decisions, helping us to live according to our highest principles and ideals. Discipline is, therefore, the foundation of a virtuous and meaningful life. Number 4. The strength of character. The strength of character is a lesson that many only understand when it is already too late. We live in a society that values external success, appearances, and material possessions. However, the Stoics teach us that true strength lies in character, integrity, and virtue. It is character that defines who we are, guides our actions, and gives us the strength to face life's adversities. The strength of character is not something that is easily acquired. It is forged through hardships, trials, and the choices we make every day. Every decision, every action, contributes to shaping our character. It is in the small daily choices that we show our true nature. Choosing the path of virtue over the easy path requires courage and determination. It means resisting temptations, maintaining integrity, and acting according to our principles, even when no one is watching. The Stoics teach us that character is the only thing we truly control. We cannot control what happens around us, but we can control how we react to these situations. It is this resilience, this ability to maintain composure and act wisely amidst chaos that defines the strength of our character. When we face adversity with dignity, we show our true strength. The strength of character also manifests in the ability to be honest with oneself. It is easy to deceive others, but deceiving oneself is a betrayal that corrodes the soul. The Stoics encourage us to practice self-reflection, to examine our actions and motivations with brutal honesty. Only then can we identify our weaknesses and work to strengthen them. This honesty with oneself is the foundation upon which we build a solid and unshakable character. Often people realize the importance of character only after they have faced great losses or failures. When all that is superficial disappears, what remains is the essence of who we are. And it is at this moment that the strength of character becomes evident. Those with strong character are able to rise again, learn from their mistakes, and keep fighting. They are not defined by their circumstances but by their ability to overcome them. The Stoics also teach us that the strength of character is closely linked to the practice of virtues. Courage, wisdom, justice, and temperance are the pillars on which we build our character. The constant practice of these virtues strengthens us, guides us, and gives us the ability to face any challenge life presents. Every time we choose virtue, we strengthen our character and come closer to our best selves. The Stoics remind us that life is short and uncertain, and that we must live according to our values and principles. The strength of character is what allows us to do this. It is what gives us the courage to face life with dignity, to seek virtue in all our actions, and to be true to ourselves no matter what happens. Therefore, do not wait until it is too late to learn the importance of the strength of character. Start today and live each day with courage, integrity, and wisdom. Character is not something inherited or acquired by chance. It is built through every choice, every action, every moment of our lives. And it is this constant building, this dedication to virtue and integrity, that makes us truly strong. The strength of character is what allows us to face life with courage, resilience, and wisdom. It is what gives us the ability to be the best version of ourselves, no matter the circumstances. Number 5. The necessity of forgiveness. The necessity of forgiveness is a lesson that many only learn too late. We live in a world where hurts and resentments accumulate like stones in a river, weighing down our hearts and souls. Holding on to grudges imprisons us, keeping us captive to a past we cannot change. The Stoics, with their timeless wisdom, teach us that forgiveness is not an act of weakness but of immense inner strength. Forgiveness is a conscious choice to release pain and resentment. It is not about forgetting or justifying the actions of others, but about freeing ourselves from the weight we carry. Persistent hurt corrodes our peace of mind, prevents us from moving forward, and traps us in a cycle of suffering. The Stoics remind us that we cannot control the actions of others, but we can control our reaction to them. And choosing to forgive is an act of supreme self-discipline and wisdom. Forgiveness is a gift we give to ourselves. When we forgive, we are not absolving the offender, but freeing ourselves from the emotional bond that ties us to the past. It is an act of compassion for ourselves, a way to allow ourselves to live fully in the present. The Stoics teach that anger and resentment are destructive emotions that undermine our serenity and well-being. By forgiving, we choose peace over internal turbulence. Often we believe that forgiving is a sign of weakness, that by forgiving we are allowing others to exploit or hurt us again. However, the Stoics show us that true power lies in the ability to forgive, to let go of what hurt us. Strength of character is demonstrated in the ability to overcome pain, to transform anger into understanding and compassion. Forgiveness allows us to regain control over our lives. By releasing resentment, we are no longer at the mercy of negative emotions that consume us. We can focus on our growth, our goals, and our well-being. Forgiveness gives us the clarity and strength to move forward, to build a better future free from the shadows of the past. The Stoics also teach us that forgiveness is a path to true freedom. Freedom is not just the absence of external constraints but the absence of internal ones. When we are held captive by resentment, we are prisoners of our own minds. Forgiving is breaking those chains. It is making room for joy, gratitude, and inner peace. The practice of forgiveness requires courage. Facing our pain, acknowledging our own faults, and choosing to let go of what hurt us is an act of immense bravery. The Stoics encourage us to reflect on our own imperfections and understand that we are all susceptible to errors. Understanding our own fallibility makes us more compassionate, more willing to forgive others. Forgiveness is also an act of wisdom. The Stoics teach that life is short and uncertain, and we should not waste our precious time on useless resentments. Every moment spent in anger and hurt is a moment lost, a moment that could have been lived with joy and purpose. By forgiving, we choose to live fully, valuing each moment as an opportunity for growth and fulfillment. The necessity of forgiveness is a lesson that many understand only after years of unnecessary suffering. However, it is never too late to learn to forgive. Each day is a new chance to release what holds us back, to embrace the peace and serenity that forgiveness brings. Forgiving is an act of self-love, a way to take care of our emotional and mental health. The Stoics remind us that forgiveness is a continuous process. It is not something done once and forgotten, but something practiced daily. Each time we choose to forgive, we strengthen our character, increase our resilience, and come closer to true wisdom. Forgiveness is a practice that frees us, allowing us to live with authenticity and integrity. The necessity of forgiveness is an essential lesson for a full and meaningful life. It is a practice that transforms us, enabling us to overcome adversity with grace and dignity. Forgiveness is an act of strength, courage, and wisdom. It is the key to true inner peace, to true freedom. Number 6. Indifference to externals. Indifference to externals is a lesson that many only learn too late. We live in a world where we are constantly bombarded by external stimuli, other people's opinions, unexpected events, material possessions. But the Stoics, with their timeless wisdom, teach us that true peace and freedom come from the ability to be indifferent to these externals, focusing only on what is within our control. The Stoics remind us that there are two spheres in our lives, what we can control and what we cannot. We can control our actions, our choices, our thoughts, and our attitudes. But we cannot control the actions of others, external circumstances, or the unpredictable events that life throws at us. Wisdom lies in recognizing this distinction and putting our energy only into what is within our sphere of control. Indifference to externals does not mean apathy or disinterest, but rather an unshakable serenity in the face of the adversities and temptations of the world. It is the ability to keep the mind calm and centered, regardless of the chaos that may be around us. When we are indifferent to externals, we do not allow the winds of circumstance to steer us off course or disturb our inner peace. The Stoics teach us that externals are by nature impermanent and uncontrollable. Fame, wealth, the approval of others, all these things are beyond our domain. Seeking our happiness in them is a recipe for frustration and suffering. True happiness comes from within, from our ability to live according to our values and principles regardless of what happens around us. Often we waste our energy trying to control the uncontrollable, trying to shape the world to our will. But this is a losing battle. The Stoics encourage us to accept the world as it is, with all its imperfections and uncertainties, and to focus on what we can change, ourselves. It is through this acceptance and internal focus that we find true peace and freedom. Indifference to externals gives us the strength to face adversity with dignity. When we are not attached to external outcomes, we are able to maintain our composure and our purpose, even in the face of the most difficult challenges. We are not shaken by the highs and lows of life, but maintain a steady course, guided by our values and our integrity. The Stoics also teach us that indifference to externals is a continuous practice. It is not something that is achieved once and for all, but something that we must cultivate daily. Each time we face a difficult situation, we have the opportunity to practice this indifference, to strengthen our resilience and our serenity. It is through this constant practice that we become truly unperturbable. Indifference to externals allows us to live authentically. When we are not bound by the expectations and judgments of others, we are free to be who we truly are, to live according to our own standards and aspirations. This authenticity is the key to a full and meaningful life, a life of true freedom and fulfillment. The Stoics remind us that life is short and uncertain, and that we should not waste our time and energy worrying about what we cannot control. Every moment spent anxious about what others think or trying to predict the future is a moment lost. By focusing on the present and what is within our control, we live more fully and consciously. Indifference to externals teaches us to value what truly matters. When we are not distracted by the superficialities of the world, we are able to focus on the things that have real value: our relationships, our personal growth, our contribution to the common good. It is through this clarity of purpose that we find true satisfaction and meaning.